Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. This is Thursday, so it must be me time. And I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're feeling well. I've had an interesting week. I'm settling into my new home in Spain, which is lovely. We've had some awesome weather this week. Been absolutely wonderful, except for today when I got up and it was dark and raining, and it's been raining practically all day, so not a good day. But it's better than I've been told it is in London, where it's very, very cold. So what do I want to talk to you about today? I want to talk to you about never assuming anything. It's very interesting, isn't it? When we believe things because of our own ideas, our own perceptions, and everything is our own perception, isn't it? And you think you can assume, and they say never assume, because assume means makes an ass out of you and me, which is an interesting thing to say. But what I really want to say is how sometimes you can only rely on your own intuition, rely on your own beliefs when you know something, when somebody shocks you, when they do something or don't do something, that because you trust people too much. Do you ever do that? Trust people and trust their word, and then find that perhaps it's not quite what you thought it was going to be. And then the only thing you can do is rely on yourself. And that's what me time is all about. That's what me time says. Me time says that you're strong, that you're beautiful, that you're amazing, and you can do whatever it is you want to do. But you have to believe in yourself. And whether you live in a huge community, whether you have an awesome family, a huge family, or whether you live on your own and or don't have a family, doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on inside you. And that's where me time comes, because when you have a belief in yourself, when you know your worth, when you know that you are good enough, because you are, believe me, you are so good, you are so deserving, that it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter if, they say sticks and stones can't hurt my bones, but names will never hurt me. Yes, names do hurt. Having suffered a great deal of bullying at school when I was a child, I know how that can hurt, and I know how it can make you feel, and I know how you end up feeling it inside and feeling not good enough. But do you know what? Sometimes it takes us a long time to realize that we are good enough, that we are deserving, that we are worthy. And that if people come into our lives that disappoint or upset us, or we just have to realize that, you know what? They came into our lives for a reason, and we move on, because that's all we can do. Am I right, or am I right? You see, it's not about what's going on outside. It's about what's going on inside you. Me time is an inside job. And you have to wake up every morning with as Carol King said, with a smile on your face, and show the world all the love in your heart. And the only way you can do that is by saying to yourself every morning, today is a beautiful day. Today is a wonderful day. I choose to make it so. I'm making my day wonderful. And you know what? I don't give a good goddamn what's going on out there. I will treat people the way I want to be treated, with love and respect. And if somebody doesn't treat you with love and respect, well, you know what? You don't need that person in your life. You can go, do you know what? Goodbye. I don't need you. But don't hide away from the world. Don't think that, they said no man is an island, no woman's an island either. You do need people. Of course you need people. But your strength comes from you, not from the people around you. The belief in yourself has to start with you. Because if you're waiting for other people's approval, how many times have I heard people say, well, I wanted my parents' approval, I wanted my husband's approval, I wanted my children's approval. And you can sit and wait, nothing will ever happen. And that's why you have to build up your own inner resources. That's why you have to treat yourself like the best person in the world, because you are. Because no matter, friends come and go, husbands come and go, children leave you, parents die, unfortunately. People leave us. And at the end of the day, when it comes to the end of your day, there's only you. There's only you in your head and in your heart. So you have to be building yourself up so that you're strong, that you're invincible. And when stuff happens and knocks you down, you know what? You just brush yourself up and you stand up and you say, I'm ready to take on the world. I can do this. I can do it. I've done it before. I'll do it again. It doesn't matter. It's painful, but you just move on. You can't wallow in what's been or what is going on. People are people, and people will be good or they'll be bad or they'll be indifferent. They'll be whoever they are and whatever is going on in their lives. That's fine. That's okay. But you have to be strong. You have to know that what you're doing is right. You have to know in your heart that you are the most amazing, wonderful person in the world. And when you truly, truly believe that, then good stuff happens. Then you meet the right people, and the wrong people just disappear out of your life. Seen it, been there, worn the t-shirt, worn too many t-shirts. And that's how it works. That's how life works. When you have supportive, loving people in your life, people who really care about you, not just say it and then disappear. People who really mean it, who really care about you. I've met too many people in my life, especially on the quotes business circuit, that are so false and fake. And to begin with, you think, oh, they're so wonderful, and they talk to you when they're wonderful to you. You think. But then come a day when you just find out that perhaps they're not as wonderful as you thought they were, and that's okay. That's okay. What goes around comes around. What comes around goes around, whatever the expression is. But you know what I'm saying. People will come, people will go. And the only person that it's important to keep happy and healthy is yourself. Doesn't that make sense? Of course it does. You might be in a job that you are desperately unhappy with. You might be in a relationship that you're desperately unhappy with. Your health might not be good. But it's what's going on in your head. It's what's going on in your heart. And the only way to make it good, the only way to de-stress, declutter, is to really look at who you are and what you want in your life. Who do you want in your life? Do you want loving, supportive people, or do you want people that keep knocking you down and making you feel small? If you put up with that, then your life will be not as good as it could be. You deserve so much more. You really do. And my heart goes out to you. And I want to touch you all and tell you how important it is to love yourself and not put up with the BS that you get from people. You know, if a boss says something that upsets you or defines how he sees you, she sees you, I don't know. Then you just have to say, you know what? I don't need this. And you can just walk out the room, go into the toilet, close the door, sit on the toilet and breathe and just say, do you know what? It's only stuff. In the greater scheme of things, these people don't matter in my life. I'm what matters in my life. You know, I have tools and processes that can help you so much get over the stuff that comes up in a daily life. How to deal with the stuff, how to deal with it, and how to make sure that you're on the winning side. And because the only success in life is the success when you look in the mirror at night and you go, do you know what? I was true to myself today. I did what made myself feel good. I did what made me feel good. I ate the foods that I wanted. I spoke to the people I wanted to. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And if the world doesn't like it, well, the world can go do the other thing. Just put it out there. Just put out this awesome, energetic, loving human being that you are, because you are incredible, amazing, and wonderful. And I know that. And I want you to know it too. I want you to know that you deserve only the very best in life. And I want to help you with all that. I want to help you. I want to show you how you can do it. My book, Me Time, The Woman's Ultimate Guide to Fulfilling Your Potential, is all about that. It's all about giving yourself the greatest imaginable love. It's not a love of a husband or a lover or a parent. It's a love that encompasses everything. It shows you how you can be strong, how you can be grateful for what you've got and go onto stepping stones that make you feel better and better about who you are. When I started on this huge journey of mine, which has been going on for more years than I care to remember, I was so not in a good place, being in relationships that didn't serve me, with people that didn't appreciate who I was. And that's the truth. Didn't appreciate me. And I'd had it, as I said before, bullying at school started when I was 10 years old and went on for a huge proportion of my life because I allowed it to happen. And that's the thing. And you can't go back. You can't change the past, but boy, you can change the future. You can change the present by what you think. You can change the present by the people you mix with. You can change the present just by being you. And that's what me time gives you. Me time gives you this self-respect, this self-love, this not self-indulgent, but self-worth, self-belief that nobody will ever give you. Because if they take it away, you know, if a parent says to a child, you know, I'll give you something, I'll buy you something if you're good, if you pass all your exams, if you eat all your spinach, if you're good, I'll give you X, Y, and Z. And that's cupboard love. That's giving you something. That's saying, I will take away my love if you're not a good girl, if you're not a good boy. That's not fair. That's not right. But that, unfortunately, is how most of us grew up, with carrots and sticks. I'll give you this if you do such and such. And if you don't do such and such, you get the stick. That's no way to be. That's no way to live. And so we grow up and then we treat our children in exactly the same way. Or we do the total opposite and we say, no, I'm going to do the total opposite because that's not how I was brought up. So I want to give you everything. And by doing that, you create monsters. It's all very well to give your children everything. Sorry, I have a cold at the moment. I know. I'm in Spain and I've got a cold. How terrible is that? You only get what you give out. If you're giving love, then you will get back love. And you have to start with yourself. You have to start by looking in your eyes every morning and saying, do you know what? I love you. I love and accept you exactly as you are. Holding your heart, looking in a mirror and saying, I love you. It's so powerful. And saying, today is a wonderful day. I choose to make it so. You've got the choice every single day to be you, to be true to yourself, to be true to your heart. And by saying these simple words, you change your perspective on life. You change who you are and who you can be. Because you can be anything you want to be. You know that, don't you? It doesn't matter how old you are. You could be older than me, which is probably unlikely. I'm 68, if you already know that. Or you could be 24. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are. Age has got nothing to do with it. Age is just a number. It's what's going on in your heart. It's when you have your dream, when you have your ambition, when you feel that life is just for you. It's the ultimate. It is your dream, and nothing will stop you. Whatever it is you want to do, whether you want to live in a new country, as I did, whether you want to live in the sunshine, whether you want to write a book, whether you want to dance on stage, whether you want to, whatever you want to do. I don't know what you want to do. Whether you just want some peace in your life, whether you just don't want to stress anymore, whether you just want a good life and have loving family around you. That's so important. Good friends, good family, good food, good conversation. That's really all we need to survive, to live, to be happy. What else is there? But if you haven't got that, if you haven't got if you're having relationships, if you're always fighting with people, stop blaming them and look at yourself. What are you putting out there? Are you putting anger out there? Are you putting frustration out there? Stop it. Because the only person it's hurting is yourself. Don't do that. Just breathe and tell yourself, I deserve the very best in life and I am going to get it. If you put out love, you'll get back love. If you put out good vibrations to people, and sometimes it's as simple as saying, every single day. My relationships are perfect. My relationships are, no, not perfect, because perfect is wrong, but my relationships are the best for me. All my, my husband is loving and supportive. My boss is loving and supportive. My children are loving and supportive. You keep saying that. Keep saying it to yourself every single day. And you'll notice that people around you will start changing. Situations will start changing because that's how it works. Trust me, I did it. I did it so long ago. And it works. It really does work. And if those, quote, loving and supportive people are not loving and supportive, after you've been saying to yourself, my boss is the best boss in the world, my husband is the best husband in the world, my children are the best children in the world. If you keep saying that, my friends are wonderful. If you keep saying that to yourself over and over again, and you know what? If somebody doesn't change, because you don't get somebody to change, but I'm putting it in because your attitudes will change. If you think you have a great boss, you will go into work and your attitude, your perspective of that person will change. And so you will change the way you act towards them. You won't always be on the defensive. You won't always be angry with them. So when they talk to you, you won't have this shield up. You'll be open. And then gradually the relationship will change. That's how it works. You can't get somebody to change by telling them to change. It all starts with you. You have to look after yourself. You have to be the best you can be and lead by example. Going into an office and smiling at people, making tea perhaps, doing whatever you want to do. That's the way people change because they're reacting to you. Many, many years ago in a relationship, my ex-partner always used to say to me, it's your attitude. And I used to say, how dare you? It's not me, it's you. But you know what? It was partly me. Of course it was. He wasn't totally to blame because one person is never totally to blame. It's always 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's true. So you've got to be open to what you really want. If you really want that relationship to work, whether it's a job, whether it's a spouse, whether it's your children, whatever it is, a friendship, if you really want that relationship to work, then you've got to look inside yourself and say, what am I doing? And this person is a mirror for me at the moment, because that's what it is. People are mirrors for us. And if the mirror that's being held up by, say, your partner, your husband, your spouse, isn't very pleasant, if they're always slouched in front of the television, if they're not communicative, if they're overweight, if they're eating too much, if their health is lousy, look at them and say, where am I doing this? Where am I doing this? And then let's start looking at you and how we can help you become the best version of yourself. And then I promise you that you will become this person that's there now, that just needs to be shown the way. You can be whoever you want to be. You can be this awesome Lady Bountiful. You can be loving and giving and caring, but really from a place of spontaneity and good feeling. You don't have to put it on. You have to just be you. Let the world see you as you really are. And rejoice in who you are. Be grateful for who you are. Be grateful for what's in your life, for your spouse and your job and your car and the food on your table and your children and your huge family. And be grateful for everything in your life, for the sun shining in the morning. I tell you what, I really missed it today, the sunshine. So be grateful for everything, every little thing in your life, and look at yourself and say, do you know, I got myself here. I'm not a victim. I got myself here, and I'm so glad about this person that I am. And tell yourself that every day. You're wonderful. You've done so well with no help from anybody. You've done it yourself. My book, Me Time, The Ultimate Guide to Fulfilling Your Potential, gives you tricks and ideas and just so much that can show you how to move from where you are to where you want to be. It's so simple. And if you like listening to me, and I really hope you do, my book is like listening to me. It's a conversation between two friends. I'm just explaining stuff. Stuff that works for me, stuff that I know works for other people. And that's what it's about. I'm just sharing my experiences. That's all. And that's what I want to do for you on a one-to-one basis. I want you to connect with me. www.adrianmarksmetime.com and go into the